she trusted. The memory of including her former bodyguard, Tal, on that list was a constant ache, a wound she didn't know how to close. There was no point hiding her identity now. Still, revealing her true self and claiming her mother's title were very different things. Charis hadn't wanted a coronation, but Holland, as next in line to the throne, had insisted. He'd argued that their people needed a queen, and that entering Solvang as Calera's sovereign ruler gave Charis far more leverage than entering as an exiled princess. He'd been right. But Charis had fought him on it until the very last moment. It was taking everything she had to move forward, to shove aside the grief when she thought of Mother, fierce and indomitable, falling to the ballroom floor beneath an onslaught of Rakuuna. And of Father, crumpled and lifeless in his bedroom. She was breathing by sheer force of will. Standing because she refused to let her knees give out. How could she possibly do all that if she had to participate in a coronation? Accepting the crown, the title, was real. It was final. Charis couldn't bear for this ruin to be final. Turning away from the navigation room, she climbed past the cannons resting in their metal rings along the edges of the ship. Past the hammocks hastily strung between the masts for the people who hadn't fit in the ship's 8 cabins. A few children still slept, clinging to their mother's arms, their dirty faces streaked with the remnants of tears. Charis's own cheeks were dry. Everything soft within her had been burned to ash when she'd found her father's lifeless body, and then learned that the boy she loved, the boy she'd trusted, was the son of her enemy, sent to spy on her. A chilly breeze danced along the water and swept over the deck, prying at Charis's cloak. She tugged the garment close, stepped past the last of the hammocks, and then stopped. Grim, the palace groom who'd been Tal's contact with Montevallo, and Dek, a sailor who'd turned out to be another Montevallian sent to look after their spy of a prince, were huddled in conversation at the bow. Something cold and vicious unfurled in Charis's chest as she stalked toward them. You, she pointed at Grim. You should be down in the brig taking care of the horses. He held her gaze, and she ignored the worried grief in his eyes. Let him be terrified as he imagined Tal's fate at the hands of the Rakuuna who'd kidnapped him. Let it keep him up at night, eating at him until peace was nothing but a distant memory. It still wouldn't be half of what he deserved. The fact that worry over Tal's fate sometimes crept into her own thoughts as well was unfortunate, but it wasn't anything that a reminder of his betrayal couldn't fix. Grim shot a look at Dek, his freckled brow collapsing into a frown. Your Highness, if I might ask what you're planning once we reach port. In 3 steps, Charis closed the distance between them, her dagger in her hand. Before he could do more than blink in surprise, she had the point of the blade against his throat. 3 weeks of silence from you isn't long enough. You will not speak to me unless I ask you to. You will not leave the brig unless I send for you. You will remember that this is a Caleran ship, and you are the enemy. She turned to lock eyes with Dek. The boy was taller than Tal, with black hair, brown skin, and brown eyes. As always, he was quiet and still, his body giving her no indication of what he was thinking. She bared her teeth in a cruel smile, feeling every inch her mother. As for you, traitor, the only reason I'm not sending you to the brig to care for the horses with your dishonorable friend is because Orion needs competent sailors to help run this ship. Dek inclined his head respectfully,